a social media post that many viewers believe was aimed at Travis Clark and a girl's trip photo dump that unexpectedly sparked criticism over a dress may not sound related at first, but both stories ended up dominating conversation among Bates followers this week. While Tiffany found herself at the center of speculation after sharing a message about loyalty and cheating, Kaybrie became the subject of a debate about modesty, family expectations, and how much the Bates world has changed over the years. In both cases, the original posts were relatively simple. The discussions that followed were anything but. The first conversation started with Tiffany, whose latest social media post featured a message about marriage, faithfulness, and cheating, accompanied by the brief caption, "Boo to that." Viewed on its own, the post appeared straightforward. There were no names mentioned, no explanation provided, and no direct reference to any specific situation. It looked like a general statement about loyalty and commitment. But because discussions surrounding Katie and Travis have remained one of the most heavily talked about topics within the Bates community, it didn't take long for followers to begin connecting the post to the ongoing speculation surrounding the couple. Once screenshots of the post appeared on Reddit, the conversation immediately took on a different tone. The thread itself framed the discussion around a theory that Tiffany might be throwing shade, and that premise quickly became the foundation for everything that followed. Rather than focusing on the content of the post alone, many users became interested in the possibility that Tiffany was indirectly commenting on Travis without mentioning him by name. For a large portion of commenters, the timing was impossible to ignore. They argued that viewers familiar with recent Bates discussions would naturally connect the message to Travis, and that Tiffany likely understood exactly how the post would be interpreted. Some users suggested that the wording felt too specific to be completely random, while others believed the post reflected feelings that people close to the situation may have wanted to express without directly addressing the controversy. As the theory gained traction, commenters began building on it. The discussion evolved from a simple question about the post into a broader conversation about family loyalty and public support. Some users viewed the message as a subtle defense of Katie, while others interpreted it as criticism aimed squarely at Travis. What made the thread particularly interesting was that much of the debate revolved around what Tiffany might have intended rather than anything she actually said. Not everyone accepted that interpretation, however. Another group argued that the entire discussion relied heavily on assumptions. They pointed out that Tiffany never referenced Katie, Travis, or any of the rumors that have circulated in recent months. To them, followers were taking a broad statement about relationships and forcing it into an existing narrative because that narrative already dominated community discussions. These users felt that people were less interested in the actual post and more interested in finding evidence to support conclusions they had already reached. The debate eventually expanded beyond Tiffany herself. Some commenters questioned whether someone connected to the family should post messages that could be interpreted so many different ways, while others argued that people close to a situation shouldn't be expected to stay completely silent simply because strangers have turned their personal lives into a public discussion. By the end of the thread, the conversation had become less about one social media post and more about perception, intention, and the complicated relationship between private feelings and public platforms. While Tiffany's update encouraged viewers to search for hidden meaning, Kabrie's latest Instagram post sparked discussion for an entirely different reason. Her upload was originally nothing more than a photo dump from a girl's getaway, described in the caption as "Girls Trip Therapy." The photos showed Kaybrie spending time with friends, including several images with Ellie, and the overall mood felt relaxed, fun, and completely free of controversy. Instagram followers responded exactly as expected, filling the comments with compliments about the pictures, the outfits, and the friendship on display. One detail stood out more than anything else: Kaybrie's bright blue dress. Followers repeatedly praised the look, while others focused on Ellie, commenting on how much she has grown up and how beautiful she looked throughout the post. On Instagram, the discussion was overwhelmingly positive and centered almost entirely on the photos themselves. Reddit saw something very different. Just as Tiffany's discussion was shaped by the title of the thread, Kaybrie's conversation began with a premise already in place. The thread focused attention on her outfit and immediately framed it as something that might raise eyebrows within a family historically associated with conservative standards. Before the comments even started, the discussion had already moved away from the girls' trip and toward a much bigger question. How would this outfit have been viewed during the earlier years of the Bates family? That question quickly became the heart of the conversation. Some users argued that the blue dress would have generated significant criticism during the family's television era and saw it as another example of how dramatically the younger generation differs from the image many longtime viewers still associate with the Bates name. For these commenters, the outfit wasn't really the story. The story was what the outfit represented. Others strongly disagreed. Several users pointed out that various Bates daughters have worn similar styles over the years and argued that people continue judging the family based on standards that no longer reflect reality. To them, the reaction itself was more interesting than the dress. They believed some followers are still holding on to a version of the Bates family that has evolved considerably over time. As the discussion continued, the focus gradually shifted away from clothing altogether. More commenters began talking about Kaybrie's place within the family and how naturally she appears to fit into the Bates social circle. Several users noted how frequently she is seen with different Bates sisters and how comfortable she seems within that environment. Rather than debating fashion, they found themselves discussing acceptance, relationships, and the role Kaybrie has come to occupy among the younger generation. Ellie's presence in the photos added another layer to the conversation. While Instagram followers simply enjoyed seeing the two together, Reddit users viewed the images as further evidence of close friendships and strong family connections. What began as a discussion about one outfit slowly evolved into a broader conversation about belonging and how newer members connected to the family are perceived by longtime followers. Looking at both stories side by side reveals a surprisingly similar pattern. Tiffany shared a simple post about loyalty and relationships. Yet viewers immediately began searching for clues about whether it was aimed at Travis. Kaybrie shared photos from a girls' trip, yet viewers quickly turned the conversation into a debate about modesty, changing standards, and family culture. In both situations, the original content became secondary to the interpretations that followed. For Tiffany, a brief message about faithfulness became one of the week's most discussed topics because viewers believed there was a deeper meaning behind it. For Cabri, a collection of vacation photos became a conversation about expectations and change because viewers saw the images as symbolic of something larger. Neither post appeared designed to create controversy, yet both became reminders of how quickly ordinary updates can evolve into major discussions once online communities begin connecting dots and building narratives of their own. And while followers continue debating whether Tiffany was really throwing shade or whether Kaybrie's outfit deserved the attention it received, both women seem to be doing something much simpler, sharing moments from their lives while everyone else decides what those moments are supposed to mean.